What is good, everybody? It is your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. I am going to give you 3 keys to a Chicago Bears victory. Yes, I said a victory. I know. Get your jokes out of the way now. A Chicago Bears victory over the Detroit Lions, and it starts right now. As always, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. This is the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk, man. So make sure that you hit that bell so that you can stay in tune with everything that we got coming. We're going live. We got the live show in the new studio coming someday. You know, that's coming soon. It's coming soon, so they tell me. We got a lot of stuff coming y'all way, and we want to make sure that y'all are here for all of it. So stay in tune with us, man. Make sure you hit that bell. Now, I am going to give you my keys to a Chicago Bears victory this week. This is going to be tough. But honestly, the Lions are a team that if you sleep on them completely, they're going to be able to get ahead of you. But my biggest thing with the Bears is it's still the line play. It starts up front for me. Key number 1 for me, listen. We got to see MACK and Robert Quinn getting home. And I really like the way Deshaun Desai has been drawing them up, able to get them on the same side of the field. I think that that's causing havoc for quarterbacks. And guess what? Jared Goff coming into the building right now. He's not playing terribly. QBR of about 94. He's actually played better than I expected him to in Detroit. But what he does is he'll make mistakes early. If you've seen kind of the games where he's struggled at, you know, the mistakes come early and then finally he's able to settle in. What we need to see from this Bears team is them attacking him early. If they're able to get him on the ground, if they're able to get into Jared Goff's head early. First things first, we've seen Jared Goff play against this Bears defense. Now, is that an advantage to him? Maybe, except the Detroit Lions right now, they're kind of playing off of a high off of their coach. You know what I'm saying? He's got them playing better. The talent just isn't there. And so there's going to be that opportunity. The only guys you got to watch out for to me right now, TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift. But, you know, there's question marks around those guys as well because a lot of it predicates on Jared Goff. The first thing we have to see is Jared Goff on the ground like we saw. And listen, the Bears did a good job of that last week, right? And that's why I think that the Bears will end up coming away with a victory this week. They think they did a really good job of being able to get to Baker Mayfield, even with his mobility, you know, early on in that game. I think later on we saw the fact that you got 1 passing yard. How many times we got to say that throughout the week? The fact that you got 1 passing yard, your offense didn't move, only 47 total yards of offense. The big thing to me is that they were able to get the Baker early. And then when they were just on the field way too much, that time of possession was ridiculous. Then they were kind of breaking down at the end, becoming that defense that they were able to get to, and the fact that MACK went out with a little bit of injury. But if you're able to get the Jared Goff, what it's going to do, we know Jared Goff. We've watched Jared Goff. He is prone to make mistakes if the pressure is coming and if the scheme is shaking him up. And so I think key number 1, you absolutely have to get Jared Goff on the ground. I need to see a 2-sack day from MACK and a 1-sack day from Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn, by the way, having a day. Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. What are your keys to a Chicago Bears victory? Give me the keys. Give me real keys, not the, oh, we better go to Jesus now. We better pray to the heavens. Listen, those are good keys too, but Jesus ain't worried about the Bears. Clearly, we've been here for a while. So let's just get some real keys in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with y'all as well. Key number 2. The kids got to improve. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's Nagy's scheme. It is. It 100% is. But there are little things that the kid has to do. I'm talking about Justin Fields, of course, that can improve his game. The one thing that I'll say is Matt Nagy needs to get him in a scheme where he's able to move so that the entire play isn't for him to turn around, stand back there, play quarterback, and then move, because the offensive line gave him 0.78 seconds to make a play. I mean, there's not much you can do with that. But when he was able to make a play, the few times that he was protected, and even kind of going back to that Bengals game, the thing you noticed was he's holding on to the ball just a little bit long. Not much. I think he's still at college football level where he's still surveying the field. He had one of the better offensive lines. He's able to make something happen there. He's still at that level. He's got to adjust to what's happening ahead of him right now. I think that if he's able to improve this game and use those legs, make those decisions a little bit quicker, which, listen, with Justin Fields, we've seen every game that he's had issues in, he's grown. Now, of course, that the last game, not so much, but from preseason to what we saw in that first Bengals game, he absolutely grew on off of what he had learned. I think that last week is a heck of a learning experience, and I think that this week he's going to come out with a little bit more composure, a little bit more poise, being able to taste real NFL speed for a full game. And so I think that the biggest key is just going to be let the kid play his game and let him adjust to what the NFL is doing to him, because there's a lot of times, listen, yeah, Nagy's got to scheme that, but there's the best play I saw from the kid was him being able to roll out, surveying the field, extending the play with his legs, sees Allen Robinson down the field, throws the ball up to him. Now it's a 50-50 ball. There's also an opportunity to get Darnell Mooney there, but I think that what that did was he's now seeing what he can do versus these NFL defenses. And I'll tell you what, the Lions defense is coming in not at that level. The Bears should be able to get to him. I mean, we're talking about 23rd in the NFL for both total yards and for passing yards. He'll have an opportunity to absolutely show what he can do passing wise. Rush yards, they're giving up 114 yards a game. David Montgomery's absolutely got to be a part of that game plan. And they're giving up 31 points. That's tied for 31st in the NFL. So there's an opportunity here for the Bears to attack them, surprisingly enough, offensively, if they just let the kid basically play off of instinct. Like I said before, keeping it simple is the best thing for Justin Fields going into this game. Let's not try and get cute. These are things that we said about Matt Nagy going all the way back. Let's not try and get cute. Let's try and just keep it simple and then let him react off of instinct, because this is an above average kid out here making plays. This is not your Mitchell Trubisky. Shot to UP, kid. Take that with you. Anyway, moving on to key number 3, my third key for the game. My third and final key for the game. The offensive line's got to step up. It comes down to the line here, and I'm not saying it just because you have to protect Justin Fields, but what you do now, those stats become null and void if they're able to get in the backfield before anyone is able to make a play. Listen, they give up 114 rushing yards a game. They give up 269 passing yards a game. Both are things that take time to develop. We need to see David Montgomery getting involved in this game as much as possible, because the same thing with Mitch being here, the same thing with Foles. When you have a young quarterback or an immobile quarterback, it just helps you if your running game's going, because now they're not focused on you. That's going to be the biggest thing. Take as much of the focus off of Justin Fields as you can, and the offensive line is going to be a big help with that. If the offensive line is able to stand in there and open up some holes for David Montgomery to finally find a lane, I mean, it's just going to change the entire game plan. It allows the game plan to work. I understand that Matt Nagy calling these plays is going to be a struggle, but at the end of the day, the players have to still execute the play. And if this offensive line does what it did last week, like I said in the live yesterday, there's a lot of blame that's on Nagy for scheme, for play calling, for all of that. But I don't care what play you call. I don't care if you got Bill Belichick back there, John Harbaugh. I don't care if you got Andy Reid on this side. With the way that offensive line looked yesterday, or last Sunday, I'm sorry, there's nobody that could have stood back there and made anything happen, quarterback or running back wise. They have to give you the time. Like I said, 0.78 seconds. It's just not enough time to make anything work. David Montgomery needs that time. He needs the holes. He needs the space so that he can get on the other side of that line and make something happen with his legs, keeping that line churning, keeping that line moving. And then Justin Fields needs that time to be able to actually survey the field, because, listen, hey, he's still trying to get to the point where he's at NFL speed. I understand I said that he needs to kind of get there, unfortunately now, a lot quicker, but he still needs that time. If you give him that extra half second, maybe he is able to adjust to that speed. And that comes down to the offensive line. Hey, Nagy, how about getting some tight ends in there to help chip block a little bit? You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this thing moving. Let's get this thing moving back in the right direction. Let's not keep this thing moving in the direction. Let's get this thing moving back in the right direction. But it all starts up front. A lot of the keys, a lot of the times you see me do the keys, what does it come down to? The big boys up front. And what we saw from Jason Peters, I mean, hey, Jermaine Ifedi, you want to do anything, my boy. You want to do it? I saw you. You look like a turnstile. I see you at Menards every week. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just unacceptable. That's not going to be something that's going to speak to the Bears' success. And if we don't get that offensive line in order, it's not going to matter a lot of what we do because it's going to be a long day no matter what team we play. Now, as always, I want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think – oh, hold on. Now, as always, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. What are your 3 keys to a Chicago Bears victory? As always, I'll be down there talking with you as well. Hey, it's your boy Pat the Designer, man. Back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links here. Check the links in the description below. Hey, yo, Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.